click away from wealth, or so they thought. It started with a promise. At your home, just a few clicks away, a dream born, one that promised wealth beyond imagination. It wasn't stocks, crypto, or real estate. No, this was something new, something exciting. A chance to invest in cannabis, one of the fastest growing industries in the world, without ever touching a plant. One company made it sound easy. You buy a virtual cannabis plant, they grow it in high-tech greenhouses, and when the harvest is sold, you get a cut of the profits. No maintenance, no hassle, just pure passive income. The website looked sleek, professional. Social media was buzzing, testimonials poured in. I invested 1,000 euros and now I'm making thousands every month. Real people, real money, real success. Or so it seemed, because hiding behind this dream was a nightmare waiting to unfold. In 2019, when the buzz around a company called JuicyFields began to spread like wildfire in Berlin, at first everything was smooth. Investors deposited money, picked their plants, and watched their digital greenhouses fill up. The returns? Even better than expected. JuicyFields wasn't stingy. Investors could withdraw their money anytime. They could even reinvest and buy more plants. The more you put in, the more you made. Word spread like wildfire. It wasn't just small investors getting in. Businessmen, professionals, even retirees saw it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Some put in their life savings, others took out loans. Because why not? Everything was working. No red flags, no warnings, just easy money until the cracks started to show. As time passed, small warning signs began to appear, hinting that JuicyFields might not be the golden investment people once believed it to be. At first, everything looked perfect. Early investors were happy, receiving returns that seemed almost too good to be true. Many of them had doubled or even tripled their money within months. The platform was smooth, friendly, and promised that anyone could become a cannabis investor without ever touching a plant. But slowly, things started to change. Investors began to notice delays. Payments that used to arrive quickly started taking longer. When people sent messages to customer support, the replies became slower and more unclear. Some noticed that the live chat feature was no longer active. Updates on their cannabis plants stopped showing up. These may have seemed like small issues at first, but they started to build up. Something didn't feel right anymore. Then the situation took a serious turn. In March 2022, Germany's financial authority, known as BaFin, issued a public warning. They said that JuicyFields did not have the license or permission to offer investment services in Germany. It was a huge red flag. Soon after, BaFin officially banned the company from operating in the country. This announcement shocked investors. Germany had been one of JuicyFields' biggest markets. Many believed the platform was legal and regulated, but now the truth started to surface. By mid-July 2022, everything came crashing down. One day, thousands of users tried to log into their JuicyFields accounts, but the platform was completely silent. The website was either down or frozen. No one could withdraw money. No one could contact anyone from the company. Their Telegram groups, which were once full of updates and activity, were suddenly empty. Social media pages were gone. Just like that, JuicyFields had disappeared. It felt like the company had vanished overnight. Panic spread among investors. People started realizing that their money might be gone forever. Many had invested their life savings. Some had borrowed money to put into JuicyFields, trusting that it would pay off. But now there were no answers. It was as if the entire thing had been a lie all along. And soon, investigators confirmed what many feared. JuicyFields had been a Ponzi scheme. This meant that the company was using money from new investors to pay returns to older ones. There were no real profits from cannabis sales. The platform showed fake updates and reports to make it look like the business was working. But behind the scenes, there were no legal cannabis partnerships and no proof that the promised operations were real. It had all been staged to look convincing. As the investigation deepened, shocking numbers came to light. Over 186,000 people from around the world had invested in JuicyFields. The total amount collected was believed to be over 645 million euros. Some even estimate it was much higher. This wasn't a small scam. It was one of the biggest online frauds in recent history. Then a name began to appear. Sergey Berezin was identified as one of the masterminds behind JuicyFields. Though he never appeared in public representing the company, many believe he was pulling the strings from behind the scenes. He used different names and moved carefully, staying out of sight. The company had also shown other faces like Alan Glantz as CEO, but those roles kept changing, and no one seemed to stay in charge for long. Everything about JuicyFields had been built to confuse people. In April 2024, Berezin was finally caught. He was arrested in the Dominican Republic after months of investigation and was later sent to Spain, where he now faces serious charges, including fraud, money laundering, and running a criminal organization. The arrest didn't happen by chance. It was the result of a large joint operation involving over 400 officers across Europe. They searched houses, offices, and digital accounts. In this process, they found large amounts of stolen money and expensive items bought with investor funds. Authorities found money in banks, in in cryptocurrency accounts, and even in luxury real estate. They also discovered expensive cars, artworks, and hidden cash. All of this was proof of how much money had been stolen and how the scammers had lived lavish lives while investors were left in the dark. But who was Sergei Berezin really? Further digging revealed surprising details about his background. His father was a nuclear scientist and had links to a group called the Russian-German Rotary Club. This suggested that Berezin had connections in high places. Some believe this may have helped him stay hidden for so long. It also raised questions about how such a big scam was able to operate for years without being stopped. Even now, many investors are still struggling. They have lost their money. They have lost trust. For some, JuicyFields was more than just a financial loss. It was an emotional blow. The platform had promised financial freedom and a chance to be part of the growing cannabis industry. It had used fancy videos, partnerships, and influencers to create a beautiful lie, but it was all fake. The greenhouses shown in videos were not real. The partnerships were never confirmed, and the profits were nothing more than recycled investor money. JuicyFields may be gone, but the impact remains. Its rise and fall is a powerful lesson, a warning about the dangers of online investment platforms that seem too perfect. It shows how scams can use smart marketing, technology, and even social media to fool people. It reminds us that in today's digital world, even something that looks modern and trustworthy can turn out to be a trap. Now, authorities are still working to recover lost funds and bring others involved to justice, but the damage has already been done. The name JuicyFields is now a symbol of one of the biggest online scams in history, a story of greed, lies, and the cost of blind trust. So next time you're tempted by a click that promises the world from the comfort of your home, remember the cautionary tale of JuicyFields. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes open, and we'll see you in the next story.